Hi, this is Nicole Dyer, and this presentation is called How Do You Make Citations with Online Repository Assistant ORA? This is from the Research Like a Pro with DNA Office Hours session that was held in March 2024. And in this excerpt, we are talking about how to use ORA in order to set up citation templates on some of the major online websites like Ancestry and Family Search. And this one particularly focuses on citation templates to use with DNA matches. So if you're writing a research report that includes a DNA match and you want to cite that you used that match, you can set up your template one time with ORA, and then every time you view a new DNA match, you will have your automatic citation generated for you. I love ORA. It's a wonderful tool that I use all the time, and it's very time saving and really helps. Well, this month our tip is about citations. And the tip I decided to share today is about setting up citation templates with ORA. And the two type of templates I'll talk about are censuses and DNA matches. ORA is online repository assistant. And the way that this tool works is that it helps you create text templates by collection. So it's arranged by collection within the online repository. Online repository just refers to the sites with genealogy data like Ancestry and Family Search, Find a Grave, and so forth. So the way that it works is by helping you make templates for each collection. So a collection could be the 1930 census, or the Social Security Death Index, or Kansas marriages. Anytime that you visit that collection again after you've made a citation template, then it generates a new template for you for that person, that new person within the collection, following your template. So it automates the process of making citations for you, which is why I love it, because it gets rid of a lot of that work that you don't need to do, that you just need to check rather than type it all out. So I'm going to show you a little bit more about ORA. And one of the main things you need to know about how it works is that there's an ORA panel. And it kind of works through a browser extension. And once you install ORA, there's an ORA panel sidebar that appears when you're on a repository page with a record for a person. So if your ORA panel is small, you just have to expand it to see it. And I'll show you a screenshot of that in a minute. So when you go to the Online Repository Assistant website, it has kind of a black and white slideshow that talks kind of about what it is, and then it has links to various pages. So let's just review some of these basics, and hopefully this will help you know if you want to use this to help you with your citation templates. Now, one thing you have to know up front is that it's only for Windows. So if you're using a Mac and you don't have any Windows computers, then this isn't going to work for you. Well, it's an automated assistant for use with online repositories, including Ancestry, Family Search, and others, and there's actually quite a big list of others. And it combines a Windows program with a web browser extension to extract data and streamline your use of popular online services. It's compatible with Chrome, Edge, Firefox, and Opera. I personally use it with Chrome. So there are a lot of help pages and videos for how to use ORA. So you can find links there. And then in order to start using it, you need to subscribe for $24 a year. Here is what the online repository help page looks like. You can see there's a lot of different options for learning about ORA and how it works, and some videos. And I found that I can often find the answer to all my questions in the help pages because they're really well done and really detailed. Here's the page where you can purchase the subscription to ORA. You can see it's sold by Family History Hosting, and the man who's created all of this is John Cardinal. I've corresponded with him a lot over email when I have questions. He quickly responds and is great at thinking of answers to my questions. Here's the example ORA panel. So this little side panel will open up when you're on a record page at one of the repositories, and you can see that it has a label and then a value for each data field that it finds on the page. And this facilitates helping you copy and paste it into your program, like if you're using a family tree program, or in the case of if you make a citation template, you can copy and paste that into whatever program you're using, your log or your Word document. These clipboard buttons here are for copying the values there. So you can click the clipboard and then it will copy that. And there's a lot of different advanced things that you can do with it. You can copy and paste multiple things at once, and you can use these memory buttons. But I really just only use it for citations. So that's what I'll focus on today. But just know that there's a lot more that you could do with it if you wanted to use it to help you type into your genealogy program. So basically what ORA is doing is it's extracting record data from the current page and creating a row in that panel. And the row has a label, which is what that information is, like name, and then a value, which is what that page's value for name is. And then if you change the pages, then this will change to a different name. And so details are often located in multiple places on the page, and ORA finds them, and you can take the date values and convert them to your preferred format. You can convert some different values to standardized ways for putting them into your genealogy program. So there's kind of a lot of different ways you can use the label and the value. And so that's kind of the basics of the ORA panel. Now I'm going to show you what the ORA panel looks like on a DNA match page at Ancestry. So because I have ORA installed, I see this ORA panel on all of my web pages. And then if I want to use it, I can click this button to expand it. When I expand the ORA panel on my Ancestry DNA match page, I can see some labels and some values for these rows. And then you can see that I've created a text template for the Ancestry DNA match citation. And so this is how I've formatted my citation templates for DNA matches. And every time I go to a different DNA match page, it gives me a citation in this format. So it starts off DNA match between, and then the person and the match. And what's funny about this is that if I go look at my own matches, it says between you and the name of the person. So I had to go look at my mom's matches so that it didn't say that. Because when it's here and you're on your own matches, it says you, which is not very good for a citation. So I would have to edit that. Well, then after it says the two people, then it says the name of the website, the URL of the match, then the access date. And ORA always has the access date for today, so it can always put that in. And then I decided to go ahead and put in the amount of DNA. That's one of the fields here, centimorgans. So when I created the template, I added that so that it would always show the estimated the total amount of centimorgans and then the estimated relationship. So it does have a field for estimated relationship that it's getting from right here. And so I put that into my template as well. So now anytime I go to another page which is a DNA match page, then it will substitute the different names and the centimorgans and the link and things for the other page. So here's an example of that. So going to the match between my mom and my brother, now you can see the ORA panel has updated, and now you can see that it's got a citation automatically created for my mom and my brother, showing this amount of DNA shared with the estimate of son for the relationship. So you can see how useful this would be for writing reports where you're wanting to cite individual matches and you don't want to have to make a citation every time. You could quickly click the clipboard and then copy and paste that into your report or wherever. Here is the extension settings page. So ORA has a little symbol right here on the extensions for your browser extensions. And when you click that, it takes you to this page to set up your text templates. So for the Ancestry DNA Match collection, then I've added one text template and I've labeled it Ancestry DNA Match Citation. And then I typed in the static text DNA match between, and then anything in the brackets indicates that that's a field where ORA is extracting the value for that. And then some more static text, and then another field. And then if there's an administrator for the kit, I want to show that. But if there's not, I don't want to show that. And that's what the little carets are for. It's for a conditional phrase. So if there is someone who's the admin, it will show this managed by, and then the admin's name. And if there's not, it won't show this at all. Then a comma, and then ancestry, that's more static text, and then parentheses, and then the URL, which will be different depending on the page you're on. So that's within the brackets. And then I added the word accessed, and then the page access date will be filled in by ORA, then sharing centimorgans, the value from that page, and then the estimated relationship last. So that is how you make the text templates. And if you go to the help page, you can learn about text templates, and it talks about how text templates create field values that you want to use in your genealogy application, and they're processed when ORA is creating the ORA panel. You can add one or more text templates for a collection. The output of each text template creates a new field. The new field will appear at the top or the bottom of the ORA panel. And for more information about adding and editing text templates, you can see the editing templates page. Then this talks about how templates consist of comment lines, literal text, which is the text that I typed, variable references, which are the ones with the carets, and conditional expressions, or I guess that was the one with the carets. And variable references may include transforms, and that's how you can change the value of the output to be a little bit different. So variable references are the ones in the brackets, like I showed you. And conditional expressions are the ones right here with the caret, where if that data isn't there, it won't show. And then transforms is where you can take the value that you're given and transform it to make the date in the format that you want it to be in, or get rid of punctuation, add in words and things like that. So to learn more about all the different ways you can transform things, there's a special page on the help of the ORA help pages, and it just talks about how you can transform dates and numbers and words and strings, things like that. So for a census citation, you can see I'm on the 1920 census collection, and I have made templates for all of the census collections at Ancestry. And so anytime I go to a census for somebody, I have a citation already generated for me in the style that I like it. So if you wanted to try doing this, you could create your text template like this. You can see that I had to do some transforms. So for the residents, I had to do a split and then only show the county, which is the -2 word in the string. So you can see for residents, let's see, it has Ada, Ward 1, Pontotoc, Oklahoma. So before Oklahoma is the county, but it doesn't say Pontotoc County anywhere here. So I had to take that residence and transform it by saying I want the residence, but I want to split it up by comma, and then I want the second from the back. So from the end of the string of text, I want the second word before the comma. So then I want to add the word county, and then I want to see the state name, and then the population schedule, and then the civil jurisdiction here. So that's kind of how it works to make your own text templates. And now that Evidence Explain has been updated, it might even be easier to do this because you don't need to add any of the NARA microfilm images and numbers. Well, here's a different person in the 1920 census, and you can see I've got the text template for the citation ready to copy and paste. And sometimes specific things you need for the citation are not indexed, like the dwelling and the family number, so you have to fill those in yourself. But it has been a huge time saver to use ORA for my automatic citations for censuses, and you can use them for any collection. So anytime I have to make a new citation, I usually go in and make it in ORA so that I don't have to ever make one again for that collection. Another fun thing that ORA does is it gives you record status icons. So you can assign one of these icons to any record that you review. accepted, skipped, questionable, pending, and rejected. So what this looks like is if you have a list of censuses that you're searching through. I was looking for Elizabeth Lindsay in the 1830 census, and the first one is the correct one, and these other ones are not correct. So I put the rejected one so I can remember which one was correct. And then here's some where I haven't found her. I haven't found her in the 1840 census. So I've rejected some of them because I looked at them and they don't match up with what I'm looking for. There's one that might be correct. And so I put a question mark there. And then if you do put a question mark or if you put pending, then it will save them to a list for you to review later in your ORA settings. All right, are there any questions or comments on Online Repository Assistant for generating automatic citations for you?
Yes, we have some questions. So first of all, how does ORA differ from Site Builder?
Site Builder gives you fields to fill in for what the citation should hold, whereas ORA has you create a text template, and then anytime you go to a new record in that collection, it automatically does it for you.
Perfect. And do you know of any citation builders for Mac? ORA works with Mac, right? Because it's...
No, it only
Oh,
works
it
with
doesn't.
Windows. Yeah.
Okay, with Windows. Sorry.
Yeah, I think we
And
should ask John Cardinal to make it work with Mac. I
right,
wonder
right.
if, since it's mostly the way that I'm using it is mostly for making citation templates on the web and not for typing it into my genealogy program, if, would still work if you just, got the Aura extension for your browser and didn't install the Windows part of it.
Yeah,
That would
that's
be a
a
question
good
to
question.
just email John and say, I only want to use it for that. Is that okay?
Yeah. And then can you copy an Aura template to use when creating a new template?
Yes, you can.
So you did that with the censuses. You used the basic one and then just adjusted it, right?
Yeah. And each one, the thing is that each collection is a little bit different because
Mhm.
when they set up the indexing for that, they might have called something a little different, or they might have, instead of extracting the full residence place, maybe they skipped and just did the county and the state, and
Right.
they did all kinds of different things. So like I showed you for one of the years, they didn't extract the household number and the family number. So that was blank for that one year. So I had to add in those little curly brackets with the number to remind myself to go add it in myself. So
Right. Yes. Do you change the words that need to be italicized later after you copy and paste it, or can you make it italicized in the template?
that is one of the things I asked John Cardinal, like, why isn't this able to be italicized? And so he just said that that's not how it works, but that you can, if you use the auto type feature, then you can have it automatically italicize that. But I tried that. It was just kind of complicated though. And so, yeah, I just only italicize ancestry afterward. Usually that's all it is just the web page that needs to be italicized.
Yep. Can this be used on other websites, such as MyHeritage?
Yes, all of the main genealogy websites are set up to be used on Aura, and he actually has a big list of them. So most of the ones that you would think of are on the list. And this one I'm showing now is Find a Grave. So it works with Find a Grave and it works with MyHeritage. And if it doesn't have the website that you want to use it on, you can still use it with the generic service, which kind of works for any website and can give you some like a basic citation that includes the title of the page, the URL, the access date, and that kind of thing. And then you can add in additional things later.
Perfect. All right. So that completes our questions on